I don't know what to do anymore. I'm dying. The scream's making me sick. I don't know what to do with this team anymore, man. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
What is there to do? There's nothing to do. This team just had their golden chance to grab momentum. You win 2 out of 3 from a pretty good team who looks like a much worse team after they just got smoked in Philadelphia anyway, the Mariners. And then you walk into Washington against one of the worst teams in the league and you lay just a fucking egg. Such an egg. Such a bad, horrible series by these Mets. Pitching, hitting, bullpen. There's no one besides Francisco Lindor came and was like, I'm ready to play this series. And David Peterson. That was just it.
It's pretty funny that the one game that Eric Chavez is the third base coach, they get all the runs. He's not in the bench. I know that actually has nothing to do with it, but I do think that it's pretty funny, pretty ironic that when Eric Chavez is not actually being the hitting coach, the Mets score the most runs that they have in a while. It's bad, guys. It's bad. I was so back after they beat the Mariners, and you know me, I'm going to go back and forth. The Mets take a series from the Braves, I'm going to feel good again. But these losses are devastating. It is crushing day in and day out to watch this team because it's guys that we're relying on that we thought were going to be so much better, like Kodai Senga, Sean Manaea. Ryan Stanek was huge for us in the playoffs last year. Get ready to learn Chinese. He's just not, he can't be on this team anymore. He's horrible. He's got nothing. Sean Manaea, it's the same thing that you've mentioned time and time again. He hits 70 pitches, and he's done. He doesn't have it. And then on top of that, we don't make the plays that we need to in the field. And then we don't hit. It's just everything snowballs and avalanches so hard with this team. And to be honest, I'm not happy that I feel this way, but I there's a lot of finger pointing at Carlos Mendoza right now because he is not able to right this ship, and I just don't feel like he is a leader right now.
I think also, I'm not sure if this is true. There's a take that one of my friends sent to me, shout out my guy Ryan, and I want to know what you think about it. But
sure.
Do you remember that comment that Mendoza made, I think it was last week in a press conference, about struggling to find the right roles and the right jobs for the bullpen guys just because you can't count on the starters to give you more than 4 or 5? Did that seem like a bit of a shot at Stearns?
Maybe. I don't think, honestly, now I could see it being that way, but when it was said, I didn't think anything of it, so I think we might be reading too much into the tea leaves a little bit there. Because also, at the same time, Mendoza has been a little more candid in the stuff that he's been saying about the struggles with this team, the shortcomings of this team. If we're being honest, I don't think Mendoza would be in the best position to take shots at the guy who's in control of his job right now when this team is failing miserably. And let's be honest, Stearns is going to stick around longer than Carlos Mendoza does if it goes south. So that probably wouldn't be the smartest move for the manager to take shots at the GM. Also, maybe that was a way for him to try and get Nolan McLean up. I don't know. It's a bizarre thing. But at the same time, Senga and Sean Manaea pitching like they have is not David Stearns' fault. It is completely on them. They just have to be better. They have to be dogs. Manaea has the weird excuse of not having spring training with the injury. But at the same time, I don't know, man. Step up, have some balls. Pitch a game, complete game for once for us. I'm not talking about
complete game.
I'm not talking about complete game in terms of sense of the innings. That'd be insane.
That's a high
complete game in start to finish. You just have a good start.
We're also now 6 weeks since he's been back in pitching, and we really haven't progressed because it was right before the All-Star break. It was July 11th was his first game back, July 10th in Kansas City, and it's the same wall every time. Also, just to be fair for him, devil's advocate, when there's a sacrifice bunt to Pete Alonso in the 5th inning, if he could have just gotten it out at first base rather than try to be a hero, make a throw, get the lead runner when your team's winning by 2 runs, you could have that inning with no runs allowed, and then Sean Manaea's five innings, 1 run, 8 strikeouts. Also, the 1 run that would have scored against him was off a strikeout that got away from Hank Sanger and C.J. Abrams. That got beat out, so there was a lot of nonsense that happened outside of Sean Manaea's control in this game, especially watching him those first few innings. That was one of the sharpest he's looked, I think, all season. Basically, since those few innings he threw in relief against Kansas City in that first game he made back. I have some deeper stuff as we get more into these games about Manaea that's slightly worrisome, but this game was more similar to how the last couple of weeks went, where it was just a systematic implosion by every single level of this team over and over again. You can't blow a 3-run lead against this Nationals team like that.
What goes on with this team in the 4th and 5th inning where it's
uncontrollable? It's when the starting pitchers do lose their spot because it's the same things happen to Sean and I every time. You get to that 70, 75 pitch mark, all of a sudden he throws a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, then he digs deep to get back to 92, then he threw an 88-mile-an-hour fastball, and then he's just trying to drip up. And you could see in those 2 innings, he's losing his command.
Hit a couple guys.
Yeah, he's taking that big breath in the mound. The sweeper command is way off, too, and he's throwing more sweepers now, I think, to circumvent the fact that fastball velocity is not consistent, but it's all not working that well together. And I don't know. You can blame the whole year and the bad injuries because now we know there are 2 of them. But it's just, if you would have told me in February before anyone got hurt, you would get basically nothing from these 2 guys for multiple months of the season, I would have been like, it's going to be really hard for this team to go on a run.
Yeah, it's pretty impossible, especially like even if Manaea was healthy and gave us nothing. Like it's just these guys have to be just better. Have to be better. And same thing with the offense. Like Manaea didn't have it. Pete didn't make the big play. But at the end of the day, Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil were pretty much the only guys that showed up for this series offensively. Soto wasn't particularly great. I guess Mark Vientos was swinging the bat pretty well, and Brett Beatty too.
Not Beatty had a bad game on Thursday, but again, it was like everyone in the office had their spots.
Yes.
This was not a great series for either Soto or Alonso.
It was bad.
Each of them had a lot of RBI. Pete had more RBI opportunities. Soto just didn't get on base as much as he usually does, but it was Pete especially had a few plate appearances. But even in the game that they lost yesterday, like Pete smoked the ball so many times. We hit the ball so hard against Brad Lord over and over and over again. And then the bullpen came in, nothing could happen. But there were so many line drives that found gloves in those early innings when we thought we could have kind of stacked runs against Brad Lord. Nothing happened at all. And then you have that inning in the 5th where every single ball the Mets hit was like 105, 106, 108. And like Beatty hit the one that was like the mammoth home run. But for as well as the Mets hit the ball in that game, specifically Wednesday, more so than Thursday, they had nothing to show for it.
Yeah, it's crazy that it feels like every single game you can go
Groundhog's
back.
Day shit.
Yeah, you can go back and find big moments every single time where the Mets do not come through. Like Cedric Mullins couldn't get that sac fly.
Yeah.
Hit the shallow fly ball.
Terrible.
Luis Friends grounds out into a double play to end the game. If he's not going to be pinch hit for, he has to bunt there. You have to give Francisco Lindor a chance.
There wasn't really anyone to pinch hit for him.
I mean, it would have been
with
Tyrone,
the lefty on the mound,
but just to avoid the double play, you'd consider Tyrone. Also, if let's say Luis Friends isn't capable of bunting, you probably still pinch hit Tyrone Taylor then to bunt.
And at that point, too, also, there probably should have been some consideration of stealing Cedric Mullins, just because, again, to get yourself out of the double play. And I thought it was horribly, woefully ironic that Francisco Lindor was swinging the bat so well, and you just wanted to give him and Soto a chance to win that game on Wednesday. Then Lindor comes up, bang, leadoff home run in the game on Thursday. Like, all right, I wish we would have had that bat last night, but I know that's not how it works, but that's kind of how it felt, that if you could have gotten him to the plate, something good would have happened. And this is that anti of what this Mets team is relative to last year's Mets team. It's like last year's Mets team, again, anecdotal. This time of year last year, this Mets team was also in the fucking doldrums, playing horrible.
No, this was actually, we looked it up today.
Right when it got back?
This was Jesse Winker walk-off home run day against the Baltimore Orioles. This is the definitive moment because you had the Alvarez Winker back-to-back days where you could point and be like, wait, shit's changing.
Happened.
I thought it was going to be the same because we kind of felt like we got out of it with the Mariners, getting out of a little bit of that funk. And then especially Monday or Tuesday with how well we hit the baseball. And then it just went away. Everything went away.
No, and again, a lot of this comes down to the fact that there's not enough sustainable offense. Like the way the pitching is now, that's the way the pitching is now. There's not going to be any getting out of this. Like we might have more. What?
There might be.
I mean, maybe, but like if expecting, I mean, I guess, but it still comes down to no matter what we get from McLean, if we actually do get to see Brandon Sproat, how well he's pitched the last 2 months in AAA, it's still a lot of this comes back to Manaea and Kodai Senga not being consistent. And if we look at any consistency from either of those guys, this offense has to just bludgeon people and try to win games themselves, and they just aren't consistent enough to do it. And now we're getting the ticky-tack injuries that everyone gets at the end of the season, where now Alvarez, we know, is likely out for the year after that thumb injury on Sunday. Not likely, but probably. And then you don't have McNeil in the lineup. You don't have Nimmo in the lineup. Like, losing regulars like that, it just makes it even more difficult to stay in offense when it's really difficult to stay in to begin with.
Yeah, it's things are not good. Things are not good around in the Mets world right now, and it felt so good last weekend. And we're at the point right now where, and I'm going to say some crazy stuff, and he's going to make his second appearance this weekend, so it's going to change, and we might have a guy making his debut on Monday, and Brandon Sproat. But like Senga and Manaea spots in a playoff series right now, in a wild card series, if the Mets were lucky enough to make it there, are for sure not guaranteed. I don't think you can feel confident being like Kodai Senga, Sean Manaea start a playoff game each, let alone one of them. Like right now it's Peterson, it's McLean, and then if Sproul comes out and shoves up Monday, which again, a lot of pressure not trying to put it on there, but let's just pretend that's a world that exists. Why not ride the hot hand?
I mean, kind of. I think they're also putting a lot in one guy, especially McLean, who we know has passed a career high ending. So he's also only made one career start. And in that career start, like us being there, I think it was a little different experience than watching on television. Like I went back and watched a lot of those pitches, and he's probably going to need to find some consistency from the fastballs, anything like that, to try and make sure he can do that. I have a great soundbite that will pipe in for you guys, I guess, right here, maybe later in the episode, about McLean, the comfortability of his curveball that my guy Tim got for me at NBC. Shout out to Nats Chat podcast.
Maybe we'll pipe it in when we do the series preview.
Yes, good idea. Yeah, we'll do that. But again, it was a great move by him. But again, we probably will need some fastball consistency from McLean. It just has to come back down to these two guys, especially Senga, where you thought after the last start, like, cool, maybe you're turning a corner. The hamstring injury was a bit fickle. He did come back relatively quickly, and then in that start last night, there's just nothing. Like it doesn't feel like he's comfortable with executing any of his pitches right now. Like, seems like he's also trying to throw the ghost fork in the zone, which is terrifying. Every time a Nationals hitter in this game swung at the ghost fork in the zone, they hit it, which was the same as 2 starts ago against the Brewers, and I told you that. So this 2 out of 3 starts. And again, he's still only throwing it in the zone like a quarter of the time between these last couple of starts, but it's a pretty easy pitch to hit in the zone. I think the fact that now he's been throwing it early in the count more often, teams are ready to look for it a little bit. And I think if you're looking for it, it's pretty easy to hit. And there was like a 90% zone contact rate by the Nationals in this game on all of his pitches. That's usually like 82% league average, but it's just the color's all over the place. He's not spotting it where he wants to, neither with the fastball. He's trying to throw the early count sweepers to steal strikes, but when they see those, they hit them too. It's just nothing worked for him in that start.
Did I say this a couple episodes ago? But I'm going to ask you it again. How are we feeling about Hefner right now?
I mean, not as good, I guess, but like I can't. This is my guy. You never see me turn my back on him. But there's something about, again, like this thing about Minaya is that seeing an active adjustment does make me still feel confident in him. Because we talked about the inconsistency with the fastball, especially velocity. Last start, in the Mariners game. That was Mariners series? Yeah, that was the Mariners series, right? Friday.
Yes, where he got
that was Friday
destroyed.
when he got mauled.
God, I forgot about that.
It was a 40. Yeah, you were there. It was a 48% in his sweepers. That was the most he'd ever thrown as a Met. It was also the first time as a Met that he threw any type of slider more than any type of fastball in an individual start. And today was the second most. Thursday was second most, 37%. So they know that the fastball is having diminished quality, so we have to try other things. And those early innings, the sweeper was great.
Awesome.
He was putting it just below the zone, darting away, and then all of a sudden he started to lose command of it, which I think is probably the nature of him just being that much of a side armor with that sweeper. But that velocity falls, and everything kind of falls apart. So again, like the other thing with Hefner is that like how much of this shit could have been turned into gold.
I was also going to say, like, I bring that up just for sake of content and conversation. I still love Jeremy Hefner. I still think he's a phenomenal pitching coach. There's obviously some other, like, the players have to execute. It's similarly 100%. To the same reason why Eric Chavez and Jeremy Barnes are still here. These players are supposed to be good. They still have to execute. While I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the philosophies on the hitting side that we've been hearing about, the players are still good. You don't have to blindly listen to coaches because they're your coaches. You can still be the player that you've always been. That being said, it is just an interesting conversation that as much as like the magic with Hefner the last few years has been like so strong, it feels like don't got it right now. But again, I think that falls on the players rather than Hefner.
Definitely. We kind of talked about this contingency a lot like during spring training and towards the end of the offseason that if you keep playing this game, like it could keep working and you could look like a genius every time, but your 50th percentile outcome isn't that great, especially yeah, this is like the 25th percentile outcome. This is bad. Maybe this is really bad because again, the guys you expected to be at the top, well, they're not necessarily a 1-2 that you expect for a World Series team. You expect to get more out of what was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's kind of the magic of the Jeremy Hefner, the pitching lab, all this stuff. But when these guys at the top fall apart, it's partially due to injury, partially just due to inconsistency, then how do you crawl out of this hole when you don't have stalwarts and veterans behind? And I really do think at the end of the day that there's less of what's the word I want to use here? I don't even know. Less aggression, less of a real impetus, less of a rush to win now with this front office. Rather, I still think that once you bring in David Stearns here, you are also always thinking about the long game. Like, I don't think the Mets expected the NLCS last year, and I don't think the Mets expected to sign Juan Soto. I really don't think either of those things were expectations that they had. I think that
Still sucks though right now.
It sucks. It sucks to hear. It makes my skin crawl to say, but it's kind of like
I hate it.
Like when you look up and down the. Like, we just did the top 10 prospects last week, and we had like 20 prospects that we could have included in that episode.
Yeah.
It's the expectation that you have so many readily available starting pitchers over the next few years, and that's kind of what you want to build towards. And then you think back to the trade deadline where it probably would have been really beneficial instead of getting both Helsley and Tyler Rogers to have gotten one of those guys and then just a crusty starting pitcher like a Charlie Morton, like someone who could just show up and give you actually 5, maybe even 6 on the best day, just to lighten the load off everybody else. But it's some wrong buttons have been pressed by everybody.
Yeah, no, I think right now, organizationally, it's been a bit of a failure over the last few months, and David Stearns is to blame, Carlos Mendoza is to blame, the players are to blame. Everybody is to blame. Everyone has to be better. Mets needed to be better. They were not. But boy, oh boy, does this just absolutely stink.
No,
One thing that you have brought up multiple times over the last month, and I think like we have to get creative. How many times are we going to see the same thing happen over and over and over and over again? It is now 2 months of this. We have to get creative. The 4th inning, the Mets have like a 7 ERA over their last 61 games in the 4th inning. That's insane. I know it's only 61 innings, but that's like a full season for a reliever where you have a 7 ERA. You see that, you're like, that guy sucks. Hey, maybe those guys who are getting shelled in the 4th, maybe they go 3 balls to the wall, and then you got another guy to piggyback off them. I think we've got to take a chance and change something because it's not working right now.
I think that's also that's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. For some reason, every single 5th day, again, Shaman is out there because maybe they just know at the end of the day, like the best thing this team can get moving forward is he actually gets his sea legs back under him and he becomes good. But it's just the more this continues to happen, it's like how much can we really expect? And
you can do that when you're 6 games up in the division. You can worry about that. Now when the Mets are, I'm gonna predict at the time this video comes out, this episode, that the Mets are gonna be tied for the last wild card spot with the Reds.
The Reds are off.
Oh, they're not playing today? I thought they were
so
playing.
we're up a half game. We know it.
All right, well, hot take by me. We're still gonna be in the playoffs at the time of this. But it's close. It is way too close, and we kind of can't we can't play this game of I hope they figure it out. Like we need answers. We need to win baseball games right now.
And it also gets to a point where if the Mets do wind up blowing this, I think it's probably still 60-40 that we get into the playoffs. Don't expect anything to happen when we do get there, but 60-40 that we do get there to avoid just embarrassment. But if you do miss and you do get caught from behind by the Cincinnati Reds, one of the lowest payrolls in the National League, like just a good young rotation and 3.5, 4 good hitters in the lineup. When your star player is projected to have a higher net worth at the end of his current contract than the owner of that other team, that's a major organizational failure and bottom line just an embarrassment if you were to get caught in this situation. Yeah,
it's one of those things where I understand why Mets fans are calling for Stearns. I think we've said this. We understand why that fan would. We're not a part of that fan base. But if the Mets miss the playoffs, Carlos Mendoza's not here. There's no doubt he's gone.
I think no matter what, he gets one more year.
Think so?
Yeah, I think
no
matter what.
Even if they miss?
I think they would have to end the season below 500.
Okay, well, that's not happening.
I'm just saying. I think it would need to. I think what this becomes is like a partial cleaning house of the coaches, and then next year maybe. You think next year next year's a mandate.
You think this is like a no more John Gibbons, no more Mike Sarbaugh, no more of those guys, and they keep Mendoza Hefner for one more year kind of thing?
Yeah, I really don't think that unless you win no games the rest of the season that they don't bring Mendoza back.
That's all right. Unless Eric Chavez, you are the next manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Unless there's just horrible reviews from players in the clubhouse. This could change if there's comments from star players, of course. But yes. I don't foresee that, honestly. I don't really think anything can happen at this point to make Carlos Mendoza not be here next year.
I've got a crazy bold take.
Go.
I think by the end of when the season ends, I think we're going to get some crazy sound bites and some crazy stories that are going to come out.
Like what? Give me an example.
About how pissed off people were, how there was dysfunction. That's what I'm going to say. I think there's going to be dysfunction inside the clubhouse in terms of leadership that's going to come out.
And then where does that get solved? Does that get solved for the veteran managers? Does that get solved for the new player at the top? Because we're on a spot now.
I'm not here to find those answers.
I think I mentioned this 2 episodes ago where we've had this basic core now for 5 years, 5 seasons, 21, 22, 23, 24, now 25 with Lindor, Nimmo, Alonso. And in 4 of those 5 seasons, at some point, there was just like a total dissolution of not accountability, but momentum. It's just everything just seemed to stop and stall. And it seemed like there were a lot of times you were looking for answers. And while we still believe in those guys as players for sure, there probably is some kind of personality dynamic between all of them and the other players, especially adding another guy like Juan Soto, who's not exactly like a rah-rah leader guy. He's another one of these lead by example guys. He's not exactly, I mean, I think he keeps things loose, but I think Juan Soto, he probably still is also growing into this. He's still so incredibly young, but it's just, there's not, even Starling Marte, I said this 2 episodes ago, like as the team uncle, he's another not a rah-rah guy. Yeah, he's not exactly like, getting dirty every single game. Like, he's not like one of these, like, he's not a crazy leader like that. Like, there's something this team just hasn't really had. And now, many of these seasons, there's been you just fall apart in the middle of it. And that's something that has to be taken into consideration.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really, really bad. I don't even know what to say. This is like one of the few times I feel kind of speechless because we've been doing this it's been episode after episode after episode. I thought we were going to get a streak. How many days was that before workplace injury? 0. We're back to 0 again because it's just that was a despicably bad series to lose.
No, horrible. I mean, this Nationals bullpen going into is basically the worst in all baseball. And you get 8 innings against them in 2 games. You get 2 hits. One's an infield single, and one's a 2-out single down by 6 by Francisco Lindor. It's just like that literally can't happen against a team like this. Especially in both of those games, you had shots to get yourself back into it. Like, not tying the game on that big rally on Wednesday was just like, damn, guys, come on. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, that was such a golden opportunity, a golden moment to do that. As you're hitting the ball so well, as you're smacking it left and right, and it's just like there's something stuck. And even in the game on Thursday, what inning was that? I want to think of the inning we
Honestly,
had.
James, I might blame you. One out. I might be blaming you. They smoked the starting pitching in all the games pretty much.
Yeah, sure. And you start breaking down relievers. That's the problem.
That's what it is. They didn't get the reliever stuff.
It's like, the 4th inning, you got bases loaded, 1 out against Mackenzie Gore, and he's losing everything. And I understand that you are kind of stuck with Hay and Sanger in the 9 spot. Like, you definitely felt the loss of Francisco Alvarez multiple times in this series.
Productive out, though.
It was productive out, but just you have bases loaded, nobody out. Like, it'd be nice to not make it out. And again, like, Cedric Mullins hit the single. It's just not in the spot where you could score a run. Like, that does suck. But, like, Tyrone Taylor has a good at-bat to draw a walk. Like, again, I'm not saying anything is, like, I'm not blaming anybody for that. And Francisco Lindor hit a rope down the line that there was too good. Brady House made a good play, bad throw, and Andres Chaparro tagged him out. So it's just like, this isn't me casting blame. It's just saying, like, bases loaded, 1 out when you already have a team down 2-0. Like, that's a moment where you could just kill them. Yeah. And we couldn't even get close to blowing this game open when we had multiple opportunities to do so.
Yeah, it's something's, as we've been saying for months, something's got to change. I'm waiting for the change. Yet to see it.
It's about to be fucking September.
I know.
We have college football this weekend, and nothing is changing here.
You guys want us to start talking about college football on the podcast again? I know you really loved that. What we did it a lot in 2023 because the Mets were so bad.
Ugh, I don't want to do that. I want to talk about baseball. I want to talk about playoff races. I want to not stop talking about ball. And it's just this team's ball is turbo ass.
It seems like also like that. Well, no, it didn't, honestly. The Alvarez injury took the winds out of my sails for sure because he was.
I don't think their sails.
No, I was going to say
You pick guys up.
That's why I went like, because I wanted to adjust it. Because, like, for me, that was devastating when we got the official news that he's out. He's going to miss the year, basically.
And you get the game on Tuesday, and you blow him away. David Peterson's incredible.
Maybe this is a good time to put in the Nolan McLean sound clip real quick because the Mets sounded like they were partying behind him in the background of this. And I texted you, I'm like, damn, like, things feel good. Mets went out, scored a shit ton of runs, and then just...
That sound clip's from Wednesday.
Oh...
Which was after the game on Tuesday, as they should have been feeling that 3-game win streak.
Clearly didn't matter, I guess.
Just bomb Jake Irvin. And, like, again, David Peterson. I think David Peterson thrives on my negativity of David Peterson.
Yes.
Because the fact I forgot to mention him in the Mets' most trusted starters in the Monday episode. He comes out and has the second best start of his career. He's best start of he's incredible. This team would be under 5... despise. This team would be under 500 without him, literally. And, again, in that game on Tuesday, just... Pete was the only guy that didn't get hit again. His at-bats were really bad this whole series. It's really, really bad.
Well, did you notice what Pete was trying to do all fucking series?
Tell me.
Hit the ball to opposite field. Why? Pull the You know who pulled the baseball this series? Mark Vientos.
Yeah, Mark Vientos
did. Mark Vientos played well, and Francisco Lindor pulled the baseball, and Francisco Lindor played well. I understand that you can't pull every pitch. I understand that. Blah, 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 blah. But Pete had a 3-0 count and tried to hit the ball to right field on a high and away pitch. It's like, dude, that's not the fucking pitch for you, man. Like, how? How many times do we have to tell you, old man? Figure it out.
No, but it is frustrating how good we felt after that game on Tuesday. You really felt like you were about to go on a run, and then the momentum did end with Senga just kind of just shitting himself in that third, fourth inning. Like, it was so bad. Like, a leadoff walk to Dylan Cruz, and also the catcher's interference in the middle of it. Yeah. Luis Torrens got smacked in the hands. It's just like, oh,
we get so many catcher's interferences. We never get one from our side.
I think we've gotten a handful this year, but it was not. You get to start that third inning. I mean, I'm just really going microcosms. You get Dylan Cruz down, and again, Dylan Cruz, I think, will be a great player. Yes. He's had not a great major league career to this point. Dealt with some injuries, some inconsistencies.
He's good against the Mets.
But I think he's a good player. You get the guy down 0-2, and it's just you miss badly with 2 forkballs. One was just a good take by him, and then he clearly just didn't want to walk Dylan Cruz. So we threw 2 fastballs, 2-2 and 3-2, and he missed with both. And it's like, all right, that's how you know that he doesn't really have it when they know to spit on that forkball, and he cannot place the fastballs. I don't know. I hate that we were really on the money with how we talked about Senga this offseason. And even though he was really good through most of the first half, that low ERA, it still just felt kind of fake the whole time.
Because everybody was on base. You saw the stat that they flashed. Like, that was the first multi-hit inning with runners in scoring position that Senga's had, like, basically since his debut. And you're like, it's insane because runners in scoring position every single game.
No, and it's just if you can't execute those pitches early in the count. And again, like, he was getting ahead in this game. Like, I felt like he wasn't getting ahead, but he was. It was just not. It was the middle that was killing him.
Yeah.
You couldn't even. You worry about pitchers when they can't kill hitters. When they get to strike 2, can't put them away. Senga struggled to get to strike 2. Like, it was just, I don't know. Every single time he threw a pitch, I was like, I don't know where this one's going.
Yeah, it was
bad.
It was bad, and it doesn't help that the bullpen also just shit the bed. I mean, Tyler Rogers giving up a fucking piece to Riley Adams up the middle. Like, great play by Pete to cut on that cutoff there, cutting across, throwing the ball third, getting out of the inning.
Yeah.
But, like, fuck, man. Riley Adams piecing it up like that. Like, Tyler Rogers, I still trust him.
Of course.
But he is giving up a lot of runs now.
It is. There was also the thought where, like, you bring in a guy with the bases loaded. Still, I think he left Manai out there, like, every single start. About 2-3 batters too long. Bases loaded like that, Tyler Rogers strikes out like 15% of the batters he faces. Like, I don't know. There's not really another. I don't really want to bring in someone else who's going to walk a guy because I know at least Tyler Rogers is throwing strikes. I think that's why he came in,
was they wanted strikes.
I think so too. But I think that it was kind of a situation where almost any button that Mendoza pressed felt like it was going to be wrong.
Yeah,
that's kind of how this felt. Yeah, it's just that's it.
Yeah, that sucked. Ryan Stanek again. Get ready to learn Chinese or Japanese or Korean. I don't think he is on this. I don't think he makes the flight to Atlanta. I'd be shocked. He threw 40 pitches in this one, so it's not like he can even pitch this weekend, and he's got nothing. It's been happening for 4 months now. Like, he's just been cooked.
And then just Jackson Rutledge, Clayton Beather, P.J. Poulin, Cole Henry, Jose Ferrer.
Who's who of good relievers.
Cole Henry threw a fat pitch to Beatty that with a man on base that Keith was not that happy about. And it's just and again,
Beatty's been great.
Again, like I hate focusing on these like little micro events for all of these players because I think overall some of these bottom of the roster guys have been fine. Like same with that Cedric Mullins not getting the sack fly in the game Wednesday. I wish he would have gotten the fucking sack fly, but like I think
Mets
Cedric
fans
Mullins
hate him right now.
I don't know why they hate him so much. He still objectively plays pretty good baseball. It's just that was a bad situation though, where like if you get that sack fly, you do change the entire game.
Yes.
Not being able to get that sucks.
No, this team cannot get the big hit right now. Can't do it. That's again, they are the only team in Major League Baseball who has not won a game losing going into the 9th inning. They're the only team. They have not come back in the 9th inning this year. That is impossible. The Rockies did it like 3 times in a week. They suck.
I mean, maybe that means we're due for like 2 of them in September. Actually drag ourselves to the playoffs and get pistol whipped by the Phillies in the wild card round.
God. All right, we need to do our DraftKings player spotlight. Let's go ahead and talk about Nolan McLean again, right?
Yeah, we got to talk about Nolan McLean.
Making his second start, going up against the Atlanta Braves, who have been pretty hot. Michael Harris has been the hottest hitter, it feels like, ever. He's completely saved his season numbers where he's going to end up being completely acceptable after being one of the worst offensive players we'd ever seen in a sample size. The Braves are hitting the baseball. They might not be playing good baseball, and that's mostly because they're pitching, but Nolan McLean is going to be a good test for him. A lot of professional hitters in this lineup.
A lot of professional hitters. A bit of a break that against this Braves lineup, he's going to get more righties.
Yes.
Like the Braves are not as much of a platoon team. The Braves are much more, these are our guys, they play every day team. And Matt Olson's dealing with something. It was like a toe or a finger. So I think there was a questionable tag on him for the weekend. But He's going to face Ronald Acuna. I'm excited to see McClain versus Acuna. I think Acuna, I'm not going to say Acuna is like a guy who's great against breaking balls, just great against everything. Yeah, that'll be a good thing. Again, Michael Harris on fire. Ozzie Albies will be a tough lefty. The combination of Drake Baldwin and Sean Murphy is a very solid catching tandem. Jurickson Profar.
Ozuna.
Yeah, Marcelo Ozuna, the bad man. Have you seen Jurickson Profar? How well he's hitting?
Yeah, I mean he's a good player.
Yeah, but it's just this is a professional lineup. And the Braves are playing somewhat inspired baseball of late. Like I think they've got it together late, even though all of their pitchers are still injured. I'm so happy we're missing Hurston Waldrep in this in the series because the guy's unhittable right now. But I'm excited to see what Nolan McClain can do. I'm excited to see how he can leverage it using those breaking balls. I'm excited to see whether or not he finds more consistency with his fastballs, whether or not he breaks out a cutter or changeups more so in that first start, because I do think that just going sweeper, curveball so often could get him into trouble. It still might work, but it puts a lot in his command, which you know isn't that good anyway.
Yeah, I'm just really excited to see what happens again when there's going to be a little pressure on him. There was pressure in the Seattle start.
It's a national game.
Yeah, like pressure on the Seattle start. He stepped up. I'm interested to see what he does again in another game that the Mets have to have. Like every game the rest of the year, Mets have to have.
What do you think the outs over under is going to be for McClain?
I think it's going to be 15.5.
Okay. I was thinking 14.5, honestly.
I think it's going to be right around where he ended up last start, which I think he got 16 outs because he went 5 1/3, right?
Yes.
So I think it's like 15.5,
2/3.
14.5. He went 2/3? Okay.
2/3.
Which then makes me feel even more good about the 15.5. Is that
this is on the road, though, so not home. It's a little bit different, you know?
More righties than lefties. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think regardless, I am still taking the over. Until I see Nolan McClain not be a dog on the mound, I'm going to keep believing in this guy.
I'm with you there, and I think even in terms of strikeouts, like a 5.5
is a fun one to play with.
That'd be a juicy bet. If they push it to 6.5, you'll probably get a plus like 130 on it. But I think if it's 5.5, it might be like minus 140.
I'd almost rather like hit the alternate strikeout line and
go
go up
up
to like an 8.
Yeah, which he just did.
And that's the DraftKings Player Spotlight again. Nolan McClain, until it's not, it will continue to be him. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL. That's code FOUL for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Do we have anything else to talk about here before we go into a real series preview with the Braves? And I shouldn't even say a real one because we just saw them. It's just covering the pitching matchups and making sure the Mets hitters know what's going to be pitched to them.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to do a little series preview here. I'm trying to get the updated pitching matchups because I don't know if you saw
saw them.
The Braves pushed back Spencer Strider, so we wouldn't have to see the big bad Mets again.
Friday name some of their pitchers in their rotation real quick.
Fetty, Wentz.
Oh, we're getting
Quantrill.
Joey. So it's Wentz Friday, it's Quantrill Saturday. This feels so weird for me to say this. And it's Elder on Sunday.
Yes, I just saw
And
it
in
right
case
here
you
from
guys
David
didn't
O'Brien.
see, Bryce Elder, who got his ERA below 6 after his start against the Mets, right back up to 6 because the guy fucking stinks.
He got pelted by the White Sox. But also
by the White Sox.
For the Mets in this series, again, Friday night, just so you guys know, Apple TV game, 7:15, Nolan McClain versus Joey Wentz. Saturday, 7:15, Clay Holmes versus Eric Fetty. And then Sunday, 1:35.
No Eric Fetty. It's
Oh, you're right. I'm
Quantrill.
sorry. Quantrill. And then Sunday, 1:35, David Peterson against, that was Bryce Elder.
That was Bryce Elder, yes.
Yes.
Wentz, Quantrill, Elder. Quantrill, your boy. No, I mean, the Marlins got rid of him. They're like, no good. And the Braves are like, free pitching. We'll take it.
Yeah, right. But it's just in terms of, I think talk about McClain first again. Here's listen to this great soundbite, you guys, from shout out my guy Tim. The Nats Chat podcast was in the clubhouse on Wednesday. Good little piece from Nolan McClain here. Interesting one to hear how much exciting Spanish music was playing in the Mets clubhouse when they were probably feeling good before that game on Wednesday, and two, just the fact that again it was a strange thing, pretty unexpected that McClain never really used that curveball this year in the minor leagues, and then found it and kind of just saying that the game called for it. So I do wonder if this is just something that we're going to see him do against the lefties because he barely used that curveball against the righties, which is funny, kind of funny because it does have a similar horizontal movement pattern to a sweeper, but it was that and the sweeper accounted for like 60% of his pitches against the lefties, which I think he will keep that up. I just think that it's going to take a lot of work to keep that up command-wise with the fastball.
Yes, especially because you've the way that those pitches really work too when you're going against the opposite side, when you're going against the lefty, got to be able to tunnel them. So if you can get that fastball command and make those pitches look the same, that's where you see the Nolan McLean 8 strikeouts, 5 innings.
Totally, because there's not a lot of, weird enough, there's not really a lot of differentiation on those two pitches. Because, again, like I said, it's like just enough differentiation where it really can fool the batter, but you have to be really concerned about, especially him talking about how he wanted to make sure he was finishing those pitches, getting them to the glove side. Because if that sweeper does float on him, that kind of hurts that curveball. Because you want those pitches to think that they're coming into you, especially for the lefties, and you need that curveball to fall down. Again, it's weird though. There's not a lot of other pitchers that pitch like this. I'm sure the Braves know all about this now. So
is it Wheeler kind of like this in a way? He has obviously a way better fastball, but aren't the breaking because he uses the slider curveball?
But he uses so much splitter.
That's true.
Yeah, so it doesn't really,
I guess
it's
more
Wheeler, novelty.
Older Wheeler.
Yeah, before the splitter. I think, again, we talked about, Sonny Gray as a guy that does this a bit. Burns doesn't really do these. He has tried to bring that curveball and sweeper in more, but again, splitter.
Okay.
I think Sonny Gray is someone who does this somewhat. Sonny Gray is the comp.
Okay.
He's the main comp here. But Sonny Gray also gets more cut action. He uses a cutter, and he gets a lot more cut action on the four-seam fastball, where McLean gets the fade on the four-seam fastball to the arm side. So again, Sonny Gray does something similarly with those two breaking balls against the lefties, where he kind of tunnels the sweeper and the curveball on top of each other, where it's like you'll know which one's coming, but they're both going to be nasty. And he's just so good at spin like McLean is. McLean also, 100% a Braves fan.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
North Carolina boy. I think he talked about liking watching. Who did he say the other day growing up? It wasn't. He said something that made me feel so fucking old.
Like Tommy Hansen. Did he throw that name out there?
It was one of them was Utley for sure, and then and then he mentioned a Braves guy. I cannot remember
Utley?
Who it is, though. He said Utley.
This is
Sorry.
This is one of the worst days of 2025.
It's okay. He's our guy now. But in terms of what we're going to see from this Braves team, again, they took 2 out of 3 from us. Ronald Acuna didn't even play, so that's one thing. Austin Riley didn't play either. He's also not going to play. They just announced that he's actually going to be out for the season. When there was weirdly optimism at the beginning of the week he'd come back, which
Probably
never made any sense to me.
move.
Yeah, definitely a smart move. But it's just this is a house of horrors for the Mets. They just took 2 of 3 from us in our house. This is the kind of series that if/when it goes poorly, this is like the final wake up call. This is like, holy shit, we just got crushed by the Braves. Now we're playing the Phillies at home. By the end of this weekend, you're probably not even in a playoff spot anymore. Like, this is absolutely the definition of put up or shut up time.
I need a sweep.
I would like to win too.
I'm going to get greedy. I need a sweep. I think maybe, Mets need a little juice. We need a sweep.
It's amazing how the scheduling guys have helped us here because the Reds are weirdly on a West Coast road trip right now at the end of August. They did just take 2 out of 3 from the Angels. Thankfully, the Angels won a clutch game on Wednesday.
Did you see how?
Yeah, I was locked in. I watched the whole thing.
Bryce Teodosio? I don't know who this fucking guy is. But, he laid down a bunt. It was called for a hit, but it actually hit off of his knee when he was in the box. So he got called back, hit a double, wild pitch, stole third, scored, and then the Angels win. It's like, the baseball gods are trying. They're really, really trying.
Totally. And even Kenley Jansen blew a save and now is injured on Tuesday. So the Angels were very close to winning that series over the Reds. But heading to the rest of the season, just by strength of schedule, based on the opponent's win percentages, the Reds have the second hardest schedule in the league.
Mets got the first.
Mets have the third.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Slight advantage.
Not really, because we have to play them for 3 games, and we're worse. We're worse than our record says we are.
Man, if that is a close series, you might have to go to Cincinnati.
I'm not going to Cincinnati that weekend.
Why?
I just don't want to. I don't.
This guy's all Ohio until it matters.
Yeah, I am. But again, exactly.
Ohio State doesn't got a game that weekend?
They might, but if we're going to be Cincinnati, it's 2 hours away. It doesn't help.
It's close enough.
Could double up. That series is also coming up. We're like 2 weeks away, but we might be 4 games back by the time that series comes around.
True, season could be over.
Let's be real. We got Braves and Phillies right now. We circled this at the beginning of the season for very different reasons than we're focusing on it now. Beginning of the season, we're like, all right, got to win those games, put ourselves in a spot for the division. Now we have to hang on and win those games if we want to have a shot at the playoffs.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
Rough. It's so bad right now. And again, quickly break down these Brave starters. So Cal Quantrill, you're just going to get a bunch of cutters. Just hit him. He's going to try
splitter still?
Yeah, he throws splitter still. Splitter. Cal Quantrill does 2 lines of pitch movement. One that moves a little bit to his glove side, where it's a cutter, a slider, a curveball, and then his arm side's got the fastball, the 2-seam, and then splitter. But it's just his command's been bad. His velocity's down around 93. It's just you gotta fucking hit this guy. Joey Wentz has been interesting. He's kind of come back alive this season as he's come to the Braves. I don't know if you've paid attention to Joey Wentz. He's had a couple more poor starts recently, but I'm pretty sure I was reading something my colleague at NBC, Eric Samolsky, wrote a thing about him where they changed the arm style a little bit. He was finding a little bit more extension, a little bit more velocity on this, and it's been a lot more of just fastball cutter usage for him. He used to be a changeup guy. He's not a changeup guy anymore, but he's just kind of better replacing the fastball and the cutter, which again, translation, it's going to be a strike thrower. You should be able to hit him.
Yes, and then we know about our buddy Bryce Elder.
Just throw it again. You hit the fucking curveball. It's gonna be low and outside. If they get shut down by Bryce Elder again, we'll be on this podcast on Sunday, just canceling the season.
Yeah. Oh, if they get shut down by Bryce Elder
again,
it's almost like tear it down, start over.
I do wonder how aggressive they'll be in the offseason. Just because no matter what, even if you sneak into the playoffs and get bum rushed in a wild card round, it's like how much turnover do you actually expect for this roster?
I don't know. I don't know how they can. Like,
I don't either. There's too many steady pieces to turn them all over.
I hate saying this because, like, I do like Nimmo, but, like, he can't be one of the main guys. He needs to be your 6th, 7th guy right now. Where, like, we just can't rely on him to be one of the best players on this roster. Like, you have Soto, you have Lindor. They're not going anywhere. Those guys are here forever, and you have the young pitchers.
Nor should they.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, at what point do we... Like you mentioned earlier, like, do you just go, this isn't working? We need to make legit big changes.
But absolutely no one is taking that.
No,
like,
of course not. Yeah, that's
so
the difficult part.
Yeah, so how does that actually happen?
I mean, I guess when you think about this roster, I don't know, do we want to talk about this right now, or is this just a thought process?
I mean, again, for all the people that still listen, like a nice 2 minutes here about like what we actually think.
There are a few guys leaving this team next year.
Yeah.
There are going to be some more open spots. I would have to assume that one of Beatty, Acuna, Mauricio, Vientos will not be on this team next year. I don't think it's Beatty. I don't think it's Mauricio.
AJ, I'm on my phone right now in Arena Club, and I'm looking at the Emerald slab packs, and I see in the Grail a Bobby Witt Jr. 2020 Bowman Chrome Prospect Auto Gold Refractor card.
Give me that. Give me your phone. I'm gonna get you to
you gotta buy
that to me.
I don't have it.
I thought you had it.
Get a slab pack. No, I don't have that.
Then give me your slab pack.
That card's worth.
You buy me slab packs, Scott, so I can get the Bobby Witt Jr. Gold Refractor 2020 Bowman Chrome Auto, because that sounds awesome.
And it's worth a lot.
It's worth a lot. He's a stud. He's not going down. Get a Grail. Get a Grail. I want a Grail, Scott. Give me the Holy Grail. You do it.
To do that, you must get yourself a slab pack in Arena Club. Or if you want to get it for a friend, you can do that too. And right now, you can get 20% off your first slab pack or your first card purchase. If you're going on there and you're just like, hey, I want a specific card. I find it there. I want to grab it for my showroom. arenaclub.com/foul and use the code FOUL.
So Tim Britton was on the Rates and Barrels podcast this week. Great. You guys should listen to that. A lot of great insight about the Mets. A lot of like what you guys get on here, but Tim is in the clubhouse with the team most days. Like he's on top of things. And Tim is also a contract guru. Tim is on top of projected contracts. He's so good at that. 2 things he said that really stuck out to me. One, the last 55 game stretch the Mets played heading into this national series was worse than the first 55 games of last year by 1 game. Think about that for a second. That's, again, how we always tell you guys, like, you have to frame stats and records based on where you see them in the season. That really opened my eyes. 2, he said that he feels like one of Beatty, Mauricio, Vientos will not be on this team next year.
And I'm leaning towards Mark Vientos, just because he can't play a position.
Yeah, and also Ryan Mauricio's gotten invisible again. Like, all the gains it felt like he was making was his chase rate. It kind of just him swinging less often. Now he's swinging less often. He's getting frozen more often.
Yeah.
His defense got a little bit more inconsistent. I'm seeing that right now with Pete Crow Armstrong. You know right now how Pete Crow is just struggling mightily?
Yes.
For like 2 straight months. Lowest rolling chase rate of his career. You know why? He stopped swinging.
It's almost like sometimes like it's kind of like the Javier Baez thing too. Like sometimes you gotta let them be like who they are. Just let them be the player that you are.
That's why I love that metric from Robert Lower Baseball Perspective, Seager. It's like the selective aggression, like which pitches you're swinging at, which pitches you're taking, because those always work in tandem. Like there's a lot of different ways to have good plate discipline.
Yes.
So, like some guys don't want to get deep into counts. Ezekiel Tovar had an at bat last night, swung at 7 consecutive pitches.
Yeah.
Like that's just baseball sometimes.
It's I don't know, those guys, no Winker, no Marte. So like there's 3 hitters already not on this roster.
Yeah.
I think they probably bring back Luis Torrens because how good he is defensively, but theoretically
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, he has no options. That's the one thing that is just like.
He's also a fine backup catcher.
That's what I'm saying. He's a great backup catcher. There's no Cedric Mullins. That's a fourth.
Yeah.
There's a chance Tyrone Taylor catches a DFA because Jose Siri will take that spot.
This is also Tyrone Taylor's last year of team control.
Nope.
No?
One more. He has another season next year. Which
Well,
makes the Jose Siri thing even more interesting that they brought him in.
Jose Siri also has many years of team control.
He has 2 full seasons after this year. And we know that he's doing baseball activities, I think, this weekend.
Yeah, so I think you are expecting him to get back, but they're going to time it so as not to cut anybody. That he'll be the September call-up.
Yes, of course.
And whoever's just playing better, if you make the playoffs, that's who gets on the roster.
And then on the pitching side.
Well, we talked about the stagnation, the pitching side, that's going to be heading into next season.
Yes, because we have 10 starting pitchers.
Yeah, and don't really know what to expect from any of them, if I'm going to be honest with you, but you're going to go into next year. Peterson, Sanga, Minaya, Holmes, Montas, McGill, McLean, Scott, Sproat.
Yeah.
Tong.
And 10 right there. Hard 10.
A very hard 10 starting pitchers heading into next season.
Yeah.
So then it's like, where is the wiggle room? Like, where is the move? Like,
I think it's on the offensive side. I really do. It's on the
I
offense,
agree with
and then it's the bullpen again. But that's baseball every year.
Yeah, but also, AJ Minter has a 2-year deal. We do not know what he's coming back to do.
Especially because if Edwin Diaz opts out, which people think he might, I still don't buy it until it happens, just because I don't know how he's going to get more money than he currently is on this contract. He's not coming back if he opts out. David Stearns is like. Not because Edwin Diaz is bad, but because it's like $18 million going to a closer for the next 3 years if he stays. David Stearns is on his hands and knees begging for that money to be freed up. But AJ Minter is the only guy on a real contract in this rotation besides ARB guys, right?
Yes, Minter. Well, I mean, then also we're going to still have Reed Garrett.
But he's not he's on a team control contract.
Yes.
So the bullpen could look very different.
It will look very different. I think that seems to be the whole plan with the trade deadline, where the Yankees now got controllable relievers, and the Mets are like, we just want to invent our own next year. Also, we misspoke on the last episode. There was a discrepancy as to when Jonah Tong was Rule 5 eligible. We got it sneakily confirmed from a team official that it's not this year, it's next year, which is the same as Brandon Sproat. Weirdly, the month he was born kind of dictated that because of when he was born and when he was drafted out of high school. So
feels like that shouldn't matter. Which
is kind of hilarious, but we did think it was this year, so it's next year. So I do think that I rescind everything I said. Jonah Tong will not pitch on the Major League team this year. I think almost definitely not.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason, I guess, to start his 40-man clock. But also...
Sproat's same clock.
I'll tell you this. Mets need a pitcher right now. So if you think that they're one of the 5 best pitchers right now in the organization, and this team is on the outskirts looking in on a playoff spot possibly, you might have to push that button and see what they got.
No, and we got Lance Brazdowski full YouTube video where Jonah Tong was featured in it that just came out.
Well, because he's
excited to watch that.
Tong.
So I do wonder how creative this team gets, because maybe there is just an exodus or something. Because we had some good conversation with Matt Eddy this week in our Twitter group about how we have cleaned up our 40-man roster a lot as the Mets. So there is actually a good moment for them to have some flexibility, and that was a big part of the Tyler Rogers trade. Not really wanting to cloud this thing up with guys like Buteau, Drew Gilbert, Blade Tidwell, who didn't really see much of a future for in this organization anyway.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think they have a little more flexibility than maybe
Wiggle
we
room.
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Frankie Peppers tweeted us that he's got an interesting message. So I got to hear what Frankie's got for me because, boy, oh boy, I'm down in the dumps.
Yeah, we were just keeping the people a long time. Everyone's just sitting here late at the end of the episode waiting for Frankie Peppers. But without further ado, we have a 127 and a 6 second, then a 6 second.
Are you on low power mode?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I turned it off. I got you this time.
Nice.
Here comes Frankie.
Gentlemen, this is Frankie Peppers. How you doing? I think recent events call for an emergency group bolognese. So here's what I'm going to need everybody listening to do. You need to take 2 celery stalks, 2 carrots, and half an onion. Chop that up, okay? Put that aside. You take a pound of bacon or a pound of pancetta, and you fry that. You remove it once it's nice and crispy. Then you fry the vegetables in that fat, okay? And then you remove the vegetables. You put in 3 pounds of beef, okay?
3 pounds?
You fry that down, and then you put in 1 8-ounce can of tomato paste. You stir that in until it cooks. add the pancetta and the vegetables back in. Okay, then you're gonna want to add 3 cups each of chicken stock and milk. If you're lactose intolerant, use like a cashew or another type of milk. Let that boil down, and once you get a sauce out of it, add 3 cups of wine, white or red. I typically use red. It's not common, but I think it's really good. Do that. Add 4 bay leaves. Add a big pinch of salt. And let that simmer down until you have a nice little ragu style bolognese. And then you make your favorite pasta, and then you put the bolognese over the pasta. Add a little parmesan or pecorino grated onto the top. And everybody needs to do that, okay? It's the only way anything good can happen here. All right, thanks, boys. Let's go, Mets.
I'll tell you what.
We got hold on.
Oh yeah, that's right. We have.
Oh, and if you make the bolognese, make sure to post it on Twitter and tag me. Let me know you did it. Thanks, boys.
One more.
Also, undersalting food is like a chronic problem. Make sure you put enough salt in it. Okay, really, I'm done. Thanks, boys.
All right, Gabe got me to smile at the end of this episode.
You guys heard Frankie, so any bolognese that you guys make at any point over the next weekend, I think I might try to make my own on a Sunday as well, see if I get some videos done. We'll repost you guys from Mets'd Up Twitter. Any bolognese.
I was going to throw a suggestion out that busy weekend, so we have a lot going on. But if the Mets don't right the ship this weekend, I think we might be due for like a cooking video on the channel.
Okay.
It might be a cooking podcast episode where we cook.
Yeah, we do a bolognese.
We do a bolognese, a Mets'd Up bolognese. Maybe Frankie Peppers is there in spirit.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe-
Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
If we do a busy weekend, we're kind of forgetting about it.
Yeah, pretty busy weekend. So
Yeah.
hopefully we don't have to. Maybe even if they do play well, maybe we do
Again,
it still.
And you guys make a bolognese, you tweet one of us, and we'll give
And
you a
Frankie
shout out.
Peppers too.
And Frankie, of course, tag Frankie. You get reposted on the Mets'd Up Twitter account.
Or Instagram, wherever it be.
Anything. Twitter, Instagram, you tag us in any bolognese.
That's it, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Make sure you follow us on all our social media at Mets'd Up on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe to the Mets'd Up Podcast YouTube channel for the video version of this. And if you are listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. You can follow James on social media at
James Shiano.
I'm Draftnik Mark with a C. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Please, for the love of God, let's go Mets, please.
Come on, Mets. See you guys next time.